Hello, everyone. You've been doing this for weeks. Every property in Florida is the same story. Careful yards, demi-wah, neighbors close enough to hear their conversations. You started to fade whether real ownership of a house with land, with space, with breathing space is simply not possible anymore unless you are already rich. But here's what most people don't understand about Florida. While everyone is fighting over apartments in Miami and bidding wars in Orlando, there is a completely different Florida. Florida is quiet, green, and tree-lined, where your dollars still have weight. Rural counties, forgotten highways, properties that sit untouched for months because the algorithm buried them in a category no one is looking for. Today, I'm going to show you 10 properties across this country, starting at $249,900 and up, $59,900. And some of them will really stop you in your tracks, like a building near the Gulf of Mexico that looks quiet from the outside until you walk in the door and find you're not looking at a single house. You are looking at two completely independent housing units under the same roof. Or a brick farmhouse on more than 3 acres near the Panhandle, sitting under mature oak trees with a metal roof built to outlast everything around it. And then there's this at the end of that list, a cabin down a paved road in the Florida Panhandle, where American Home Opportunities sensed a point. If this sounds like what you were looking for, click subscribe. We're about to go find some land. Now, this first property takes us to Perry, Florida, a small coastal city in Taylor County, less than 8 miles from the Gulf of Mexico. Perry is a true county capital. There's a Walmart, a hospital, convenience stores, local restaurants that are open longer than most YouTube channels. You are far enough from any major metropolis that land prices still reflect the quiet here, but you are not isolated. Tallahassee is just a short drive east when you need it. Perry sits at the edge where the Panhandle River meets Big Bend, the kind of place where you wake up to golf breezes and pine trees, and no one tells you what color to paint your fence. You are really close to the water here without the waterfront premium. Imagine it. You enter through a fenced entrance to your 2 acres. There are chicken coops already set up, a barn, fringe trees around the property, quiet except for birds. You walk towards the house and everything in it feels solid. Building blocks, 2 floors built to withstand everything the beach throws at it. Nothing ravenous. Then you open the door. Here the property changes completely. What you see here is not one house. These are 2 completely independent residences within one building. On the lower floor, there are 3 bedrooms, the bathroom and a half, its own equipped kitchen with warm wooden cabinets, and its own direct access to the property. And as you can see in the pictures, everything is in excellent condition. The upper floor, which functions as a completely separate unit, has 1 bedroom, an open living space, a wood stove that heats the entire floor in the winter, and a wraparound balcony that overlooks the trees. Both units are heated and cooled, overlooking the trees. Both units are heated and cooled. Together, you get over 2,700 square feet of actual living space. Not only the heated and cooled area of the outlet in the ad, but the entire building. So what you really get here is a multi-generational compound in costume. Elderly parents who want their independence, adult children who have returned to live. At the same time, an accommodation unit that can help you offset your burden while you live in the second half. No matter what your situation looks like, this property quietly solves a problem that most buyers don't realize they have until they're deep into it. The gated entrance, the proximity to the golf course, the construction of the streets, the layout of the duplex units, every element of this property points to much more in any coastal market. Asking price is $249,000, $1,377. And from Perry, we are turning inward to a property that has been sitting on the market for over 7 months. This silence might be the best thing that ever happened. Buy with patience. The next story takes us to the edge of Tallahassee on Bob Ellis Street 3.5. Dunams of land, completely fenced in oak trees. Adults form a canopy over the entire property. Tallahassee is the capital, the state, 2 universities, regional hospital system. Every store and service you need is a food scene that surprises people who have never been there. Here on Bob Ellis Street, you get it all at your fingertips, and none of it is close to your fence. This is what it looked like on a Sunday afternoon. Guests stop in the parking lot and park under one of the 2 18x20 metal parking lots. You are already positioned under the shed in the back. The yard is completely fenced. There is a 12x24 metal forget on the heels, equipment, everything you need out of sight. Everything about this structure means that the people who built it knew how to use the property. The house itself was built in 1973, and it has something that you almost never find in houses of this age that have survived for so long. Original oak floors that are still intact, still beautiful, still doing exactly what they were built to do. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,052 square feet of clean and straightforward living. There is no carpet to read, no cosmetic disasters waiting behind closed doors. This property has been on the market for 226 days. The price has dropped more than once. That tells you something. Either the seller is motivated or the right buyer just hasn't found it yet. Instead of allowing short-term lies, a buyer who can see beyond the long days on the market is looking at a structure where editors can help pay for that property while you're not using it. So what you're really getting here is a ready-made country retreat with income potential for editors, infrastructure that already exists, and a seller that has proven for months in the market that it is ready for a deal. The asking price is $232,000. Annual property tax $1,817. From Tallahassee, we head west into the Panhandle to a brick ranch house on more than 3 acres, where the lot may be the least elongated feature on the entire property. This time we come to Bonifay, a small Panhandle city in Holmes County, minus 45 minutes north of Panama City Beach. Bonifay has groceries, hardware, all the basics, and Chipley, Washington County, with a wider variety of services, is a minus 15-minute east. Once you get off the main roads, this part of Florida doesn't look like a postcard at all. Rolling hills, dense tree cover, farmland that has farmed the same land for generations here in the evening. You are sitting on a back porch with a shed as the light falls in front of you as your lot. 3 hook minus 3 acres of mixed land, half of which is cleared around the house, and the other half is made of wood and native trees. The type of land where you can expand a garden, raise animals, or just let it be. From this balcony, the whole property feels like a statement. The house was built in 1964, and it was built the old way. A brick and vinyl front with a metal roof that has been doing its job for decades. Inside, there is a wood burning fireplace in the main living room, real wood cabinets in the kitchen, and 3 bedrooms and 3 more bathrooms, including a bathroom and a bathroom. 1,537 foot. Circle drive at the front and the hidden porch at the back make the property feel larger than the numbers suggest. So what you really get here is a rare combination of Florida. Brick house with proven metal roof on more than 3 acres in a district that still has room to breathe. Close enough to one of the most visited beaches in the country that it's an easy day trip, but far enough away that you'll never hear it from your balcony. The asking price is $229,000. The annual property tax is $1,684. Southern themes now return to fruition for a property with a history that adds something to every room in the house. This property is back to Perry right on Route 221, 2 dunums with oak and magnolia trees, and a house built in 1933 and then completely renovated. Almost a century of history has been fully restored. Perry's services are right on your doorstep. You are on a main road with everything the city has to offer just minutes away, and the Gulf Beach a short drive south. Get into this property and take it slow. There are shade trees that took decades to reach this size. The house is in the center of everything. Nothing is rushed. Nothing pretends to be something it isn't. Then you go inside and everything changes. New kitchen, new bathrooms, vinyl floors throughout the house, enclosed front porch that lets in light without the heat, a rear sunroom that turns an ordinary afternoon into something worth sitting in. 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, 1,752 square feet of a renovated space where the bones are original and the finishes are recent. Then there is the land use. This property is designated both residential and commercial. It's not a coincidence, and it's not a small detail. Residential and commercial on an American highway means that this land has a classification that most private homes never receive. The flexibility that opens up is not reflected in the registration price. So what you're really getting here is a completely rebuilt mid-century property on a dual-zoned freeway-facing lot that most investors will immediately recognize in a Gulf Coast county where land like this doesn't sit around forever. The asking price is $215,000. The annual Arnon-Kef, minus $700. We then cross the Panhandle to Sneads and property within easy reach of one of Florida's most underrated state chapters. Within easy reach of one of the most underrated state chapters in Florida. Sneads is in Jackson County, right along the Apalachicola River, a part of Florida that people who grew up in the Panhandle really know Kippa, and that most Florida beachgoers have never heard of. Three Rivers Park is minutes away. Saw Lake is just down the road. Marianna, the county seat of Jackson County, is a minus 30 minutes west. Walmart, regional medical center, wide variety of services. Tallahassee is less than an hour east. You have real infrastructure, and you will open to a home with brand new luxury vinyl floors that catch the light when you enter. Split floor plan. The master bedroom is completely separated from the other two rooms at the other end of the house, the kind of deployment that doesn't happen by chance. 450. Meter, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. The parent suite has a garden tub and a separate shower, not a renovation addition. This is how the house was originally built in 2000. But trees in the main living area. Stainless steel appliances in the kitchen. New floors. The layout is calculated, so what you're really getting here is a move-in ready home in an area of Florida with river access, walking trails in the royal chapters, and no crowds for less than $170 K after the hard work has already been done. The asking price is $169,900. Annual property tax, $1,227. We are staying in Taylor County at the following property, a property that made me think twice when I read the full listing details. We will return to the fruit in this property. 3 acres of land are shaded by ancient oaks and native palms outside the flood zone. Perry's amenities are a short drive away. A hospital, a school, work tools, the infrastructure of a district that awaits you. What makes this? Lot special is what has already been built on it over the years by whoever was the previous owner. Walk the property from end to end and keep finding things. Behind the house, there is a shed measuring 30x40 with opening doors and electricity, a graded commercial structure that most buyers will pay a separate contractor to build. Around him, there are 4 more oblivions. There is a garage. The canopy of leaflet trees and the palm above the house has grown for a lifetime and now protects the whole lot for free. The house is 1,272 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and comes fully furnished. Come in, put your bag down. The property is sold as is, cash only, which means there are no delays on the part of the lender and there are no inspection conditions for the buyer who can move on decisively. So what you are really getting here is a rural compound in cash and thus already well-fed, already rich in infrastructure, sitting under old trees that do not cost money to maintain, and everything must be replaced. Under old trees that don't cost money to maintain, and everything has to be replaced. For the buyer who needs workshop space, storage, or simply wants privacy and space at a price that fits one line in a spreadsheet, this ad looks very different from what the asking price suggests. The asking price is $139,000. The 2-year Arnon is a spoon minus $600 per fruit. We are heading northeast to Levy County for digestion that rewards the buyer who has done his research. Bronson is the county seat of Levy County Rural and Quiet, located between the Gulf Coast before Central Florida Williston, with grocery stores, medical services, and restaurants, is less than 15 minutes north of there. Gainesville, home to the University of Florida and one of North Florida's major hospital systems, is less than 30 minutes east of there. Levy District is truly rural, but not isolated. And as if that wasn't enough, you have Cedar Key Beach and other hot springs just a short 30-minute drive away. This property is in University Estates, a residential neighborhood, and it is currently registered as edible property, REO, owned by the government. You go up to the original front door, and the metal roof above you is the first thing you notice. Solid, requires low maintenance, the type of roof that lasts decades from asphalt. Through the front door, the horseshoe opens cleanly. The kitchen is functional in the best sense. Enough space on the counter to actually cook, logical cabinet arrangement, and a flow that doesn't make you dig into the walls when there's more than one person in the room. This is the kind of kitchen where Sunday dinners really happen. Wall cabinets in the master bedroom, a back porch that gives the backyard a defined edge, and a place to stand and look at your land. The property covers an area of 1V-4 acres, 1,152 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, built in 1999, relatively modern bones. Digest status means the property is being sold as is, and financing is limited to cash buyers, which means that the price is also according to the transition, and the seller does not intend to conduct a journey and provide a schedule. So what you're really getting here is an opportunity to digest in a district with real livability, at a price where a buyer who comes in with their eyes open and ready for cash can build equity from the first day they own it. The asking price is $115,000, annual property tax of $1,461. South, now deeper into the Panhandle, for one of the lowest price tags on this list and one of the fairest properties. Vendée Leon sits in Holmes County, the same county as Bonaventure, and it's one of those small Panhandle towns that most Floridians have never driven through, but immediately recognize when they get there. The nearby natural springs attract visitors all year round. For everyone else, Walmart, a hospital, a full-service store. Depaneck Springs are about 20 minutes west, and Banff is even closer. You're never far from what you need, and as if that weren't enough, the famous Panama City Beach is a short 40-minute drive south. Stand in front of this house and take it as it is. Farmhouse on a 150x 150-foot lot, just over half an acre on a network of pedestrian-friendly streets. Built in 1978 with a metal roof over it and a central sub that still works. 1272 feet across 2 bedrooms and 1 den. Go inside and the living room will open the interior. 14 by 16 feet, and it's really comfortable in a house that size. This is the part of the house that breathes. The kitchen is compact, measuring 9x8, but it comes fully equipped, including a dishwasher and refrigerator, and a design that keeps the cooking area independent without stifling the flow to the rest of the house. 2 bedrooms off the main hallway. The bigger one is 10x9, the other 8x10. Small rooms, but nests, ones that are really furnished and lived in. This is a house built at a time when houses were built to live in and not to be photographed. Metal roof, central air conditioning, a lot that gives you a real yard on all 4 sides. Hyra, where the silence is real, and the closest natural springs are a short drive away. So what you really get here, it is a clean and functional farmhouse for less than $100,000 in Florida, metal roof overhead, and don't go with you to your nightmares. The asking price is $99,990. The rent for 2 years is $990. Property tax 2 years, $581. And we're now heading southeast to Hernando, Florida, and a renovation story that far exceeds the price. Hernando sits in Citrus County, at the tip of the Aries Lakes chain, Afaca, a series of interconnected lakes that crisscross the county. Hernando Lake is in a series of connected lakes that stretch across the county. Lake Hernando is within walking distance of this property. Insa, the capital of the district, is located on Cape Minas, 15 minutes south of there, and found stores from Collet, medical services, restaurants, and everything that a small town has. Crystal River is less than 30 minutes away, and there you can swim with manatees in a natural freshwater spring. It is one of the most livable rural counties in Central Florida and one of the most prime. Spring morning, it looks like this here. You go out to your couch with coffee, and through the trees you catch a glimpse of the lake. The air has the clean quality you only get near open water. You are 30 minutes away from one of the most unique natural experiences in the entire country, and you do it from a home you own. The house was built in 1973 and fully renovated and turned into a compact and ready-to-move-in retreat in the lake area. It is 204 meters long and contains 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom, so its area is small, but the improvements make the space feel clean, efficient, and easy to maintain. Inside, the kitchen has been updated with light gray wood cabinets, stainless steel appliances, updated countertops, and new flooring that give the home a bright and updated feel. She bought much more than you would expect at this price point. The bathroom has also been updated, and the house includes in-house laundry, which is a practical detail that is important in a small property like this. New double windows help with comfort and efficiency, while the ductless Shin Mini Spirit handles heating and cooling without the complexity of a larger central system. It's not a big house, but that's part of the charm. Everything feels simple, finished, and manageable. The kind of place you can easily lock up, use as a winter retreat, or live in full-time without taking on a major maintenance burden. Off the main living space, the large screen window gives the home an extra layer of utility. In Florida, that kind of indoor-outdoor room is important. It becomes a place for morning coffee, evening air, additional seating, or simply enjoy the property without dealing with insects. Add to that the metal roof, double parking, storage failure, water concoction, fire, septic system, and the adjoining lot included in the sale. And the package starts to feel much more complete than the house area alone suggests. So what you really get here is a completely renovated house near a lake in one of the least appreciated counties in Central Florida, at a price that leaves room for everything that the ad does not include. The asking price is $85,000. The 2-year property tax is $817. Now, for the last asset, I've been keeping the correct way of presenting it for 9 episodes now. I'll just show you the number. Depaniki Springs is in Walton County, Florida. A city built around a perfectly round natural lake, Victorian architecture, and a history most of the country has forgotten. It is a real small town. Walmart, hospital, local shops, historic downtown that still functions. Less than the Roman Shed, Dest, and Fort Walton Beach hold all the rest. It's not a remote place. It's a quiet place. This is what owning this home looks like. You have a section on a paved road, fully furnished. Whoever he is has already done the work to make it livable. There is a 19x11 workshop behind the house, a mesh fence around the property, connection to public water. There is no burn pump to maintain. There is no absorption mystery, an area of 8/10 of a dunam. The nearest neighbor is far enough for the quiet to be real. The house was built in 1960, metal roof, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 897 square feet. This is a correctional facility. I want to be direct about this. There is work to be done here, but this is a repair house that comes with furniture already inside, a workshop behind him, an address on a paved road, public water, and a district that has been increasing in value for a decade. And then there's the tax bill. So what you really get here is not just in the section. You get a $60,000 entry point into Walton County, Florida. You get a stable building with a metal roof on a paved road with public water. And you get the most prominent item in this entire video. The annual property tax on this house is $100, not $100 per month. $100 per year. The asking price is $59,900. 10 properties across Florida today are minus $249,900 at the top of the list. Learn minus $59,900 at the bottom of the list, and minus 10 very different answers to the same question. What does true Florida ownership look like for someone willing to look beyond the postcard? Let me put the tax numbers in front of you again before I go. 1 property in Perry, $1,377. Per year, property 3 in Bonifay, $1,684. Property 8 in Von de Leon, $581 per year. And property 10 in Depanek Springs, $100 per year in Walton County on a paved road with public water. If that's not the number that changes someone's week, I don't know what is. Each and every property in this video is fully detailed in an article on our website. You will find all 10 properties there along in description, so you can delve into the photos yourself and a breakdown of the ownership cost of each property beyond the purchase price. The detail is in the description. If you've watched this series, you know the process. Leave a comment below if the country you want. I will rent later, or tell me which property in this video you would really buy. The comments section has been sharp lately, and I read everything. See you next time.